Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. I'm Denise. I hope you guys are doing really well, sending out big hugs way ahead of time. But anyway, I'm going to bring you your astrological transits through, we're going through the week of July 30th, 30th to August 5th, Sunday to Saturday. And we have the full moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees happening on Tuesday. But it is squaring Jupiter in Taurus, so there's that, along with so many other aspects. So let me just swap out cameras here and bring you over my table, and we'll go through the charts one by one. Okay, be right back. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to go over the long-term transits first, just to give you the backdrop of what's going on this week and beyond. So, of course, you guys remember that we had the nodal shift happen July 17th, and so rather than it being Taurus and Scorpio, we have the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, and this lasts until January 11th, 2025. So we've got this time to get going, go forward in the direction that we're wanting to go. And with the South Node, that would be the North Node in Aries. And then with the South Node in Libra, it's about balancing things out. And it's about relationships and money and equality and justice. But for us personally, it's a good time to balance out our soul substance so that we're going in the right direction. And when I say balance out the soul substance, you can think of oh wait, hold on. Let me grab here we go. Let me grab the Temperance card. Here we go. So notice how the water is going from one cup into the other. Just think of, and it's Archangel Michael depicted, and we have this, sun and healing, all these healing symbols. So this is about healing the soul. And then this is the path that we're walking towards being in our clear, bright light. And one foot's in the water, one foot's on the land. So there are all the symbols to remind us that we are spiritual beings having these earthly experiences. To quote, oh my goodness, I can't remember the guy's name, Dan. Oh, years ago, he was the first, well, not the first, but one of the guys that I remember coming out with his experiences about near-death, basically NDE, near-death experiences. So anyway, to get back to balancing out the soul substance, just think of your bright, clear light that is your own personal, unique essence that is a combination of love and power and peace. But somehow we get, as we go through earthly incarnations, or something that happened way, 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 way back when, maybe when our spiritual essence was penetrating into the void. Maybe we couldn't remember all of who we truly were. And so we have to heal these fragments. So that's a little out there to think of, but I do believe that's the cosmology of the way things happened. So, but anyway, just suffice to say that in each lifetime, we have our energy currents. There's only one energy current in the universe, I believe, which is all love. But we get confused. We don't know how to manage that power. We're afraid to trust that love. We're afraid to stand for what is loving and kind because we might lose something if we do that. And as we distort our energy, our life force, it goes, like instead of it going in back and forth between these two cups, it gets convoluted and let's say some spills out, right? And so we have to go through all this soul retrieval work to bring it back in to balance. So we have a very, very good opportunity to do that during this next year and a half. So the other backdrop that's going on, well, you can remember that Saturn went retrograde June 17th, and the retrogradation period lasts until November 4th. So those of you who have planets in hot points in these mutable signs of Gemini and Virgo and Sag, and of course, Pisces, you might be a little bit more affected than the rest of us, but for all of us, it's definitely an inward time. Neptune's retrograde as well. Anytime we have, and Chiron is retrograde, anytime we have retrogradations, Pluto's retrograde. In September, we're going to have a huge slew of retrograde planets. Venus is retrograde now. That's quite a bit already. What is that? Well, Eris is a dwarf planet. Chiron is a centaur, so I can't count those. But if I just go with Venus would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so right now it's 4. I think it's September that Mercury goes retrograde. So pretty sure. Anyway, let's continue on. So with the retrogradations, it doesn't matter what planet it is. What matters is that you remember that it has to do with an inward time. It's a time for building a stronger inner foundation, especially with Saturn there, because it turns into the ability to build a strong spiritual structure, strong spiritual foundation for you to work from, because it's in Pisces. Now, let's see what else. Uranus with this trine to Pluto here. I remember last week I forgot to get the dates, so I finally got that. It's been trine. I think it started last week, maybe a week before. No, I think it was last week. It lasts until October 22nd. Now, what this translates into is more awareness and more breakthroughs coming through safety-wise. I know Biden was on the news this morning talking about putting into place some federal guidelines, federal protections, so that people working in this heat have some protections. They're not just thrown out there like thrown to the wolves to do your job without having certain protections. Now, of course, we have OSHA, but I think he was also adding some measures in there to fight climate change, to fight the global warming. Let's see. So this Uranus trine Pluto lasts until October 22nd. Uranus is going to go retrograde in the fall, though, along with an eclipse. We're going to have a new moon eclipse October 14th. But then I'll talk about all that stuff because the eclipses come in pairs. I'll talk about all of that probably early October or maybe late September. So anyway, just to know that that's there. But this connection now, so we have this nice flow of energy coming from powerful Pluto in Capricorn that wants to manifest from the integrity, from your inner being, from the integrity of who you truly are. And you are going to have all types of aha moments, abilities to think outside the box, to wake up and go, oh, I never thought of that. And you might feel like, okay, so now on one level you can maybe detach from some old ways of moving through life that would try and create some safety. Being in Taurus, you're thinking that you're staying safe, but what you're doing really, boy, do I know this one, you're hiding your light, hiding who you truly are. And when you just let yourself shine and come out as to your natural, state of your being. I mean, you're a being of the universe, so why not just come out and be yourself? When that happens, you have much, or many more opportunities to grow. And you can see Uranus is at 22 degrees. Pluto's retrograde, but it's only going to make it back to, I think, 27 something, and then it'll go direct. So we have this time period, as Uranus moves this way, and then Pluto kind of wobbles a bit and then goes forward. We have this time period, so we should take advantage of it. So it could create some beautiful openings there. Let's see, what else? This sextile here, I didn't highlight it in. I'm going to focus in on this in a little bit, but Neptune here, sextiling Pluto, we have this opportunity until October 22nd as well. And that brings in the opportunity to, again, manifest spiritually, manifest using your spiritual power. You might just wake up one day and go, oh my God, what have I been doing? How could I negate my power? Your power is that you can create just about anything you want on earth, because that's who you are. You are a creator, and you co-create with the universe that was set up that way to help you learn that the universe is mirroring back to you pretty much the sum total of all your beliefs. So as we continue to work that, and we get, stronger and stronger as we go, but it's like going out for a long walk, or a hike. It's one foot in front of the other until you really get it. And maybe we go around in circles. Maybe we take the wrong turn, but eventually you turn around. That's in Stairway to Heaven, right? Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. It's always time to change the road you're on. 2 paths you can go down, but there's always time to change the road you're on. Yeah, so, okay. What else? Neptune's retrograde, you can see. All the degrees that are in red, those are retrogradations. So this is happening, Neptune retrograde happens until December 6th. And this in conjunction, now you can see we have, a yod going on here, but this one leg of the yod, because yods are very tight, it's a tight orb of between 0 and 3 degrees. And Neptune to the south node is going to be lasting all the way through December 11th. So this 150 degree aspect here, this one leg, is the stronger leg, okay? So the stronger leg means, or the stronger leg is going back to the south node, and again, bridging that gap to to balance out your soul substance, to get really firmly rooted on your path, and open up to the fact that you're a creator, right? Just keep working it. Just keep, pouring the water in different ways if you want. So anyway, yeah, and I just hit on something else. It's a little bit odd. Not odd, just kind of funny. Like, imagine you have 2 big glasses or goblets, whatever, or little cups, and you are pouring them back and forth. Imagine how hard it is to not spill any water out as you go. And maybe every time that we're trying, because you know how it is, and this is inherent in this Libra, bridge glyph here, is that when you go to one side, let's say you're out of balance, you're on one side, and to get back in balance, you flip to the other side. And then how long does it take before you get right in the middle, right? And I would see that same thing possibly happening, even though this card is ruled by Sag. I could see that happening when you're trying to balance out, you go too far to one side, too far to the other, and how much work it takes to get everything centered. How much work does it take us day by day to stay centered and grounded in who we are and within all the laws of love in the universe? It's work, all right? You're constantly catching yourself going, no, wait, no, don't do that. No, no. Or if you're like me, or, a negative thought comes up and you're like, oh, no, go away. Thank you for sharing. Goodbye. So with this leg, we will be, with this leg, this quincunx going on here, this 150 degree aspect to Neptune. Just think of Neptune here holding space for your spiritual path. And it would be the path of compassion. And with Neptune and Pisces, we're in that realm of dissolving whatever isn't empathetic and compassionate. we're dissolving anything. We have the opportunity to continue to dissolve whatever is maybe what we've been trying to escape from, numb out from, and we are becoming more and more sensitive to the point that we have to be very careful with what we take in, or how long. Maybe I know I'm getting more and more sensitive to screen time, like with my work, and which is one of the reasons, the main reason, that I print out these charts and on paper, so I'm not staring at a screen the whole time. But I noticed with me having an Aries ascendant, Aries moon in the 12th, my eyes are more sensitive than ever. I have Pisces and Aries in my 12th. So wherever this is in your chart, this Aries North Node, it can have to do with your head and your eyes. And we do have that Aquarian full moon coming up, so I'll talk about that when we get there. But Pisces rules our feet. And I'm noticing especially this last couple of years, like how much I need to be barefoot. And I'm so glad it's summer. And I'm usually in just Birkenstocks all the time anyway. Really sexy over here, I'll tell you. But my feet are super healthy. And I, as much as I can, love to, be barefoot. And it's helping me. So things like that, just little tiny shifts in your, with your body can make a big difference. So anyway, let's see, back to the quincunx. Again, balancing, and think in terms of feet, think in terms of lower back, think in terms of relationships where you feel supported, just being yourself, being in relationships where other people are also looking out for you and you're not the one doing all the work, things like that. Balancing out victim consciousness that is just completely self-defeating and self-sabotaging, of course. So until December 11th, this quincunx is going on. So I think I said that. I'm just mentioning it again before I move forward. Then you can see Pluto. Now we'll get into this. 28 degrees 55 minutes, 28 degrees 46 minutes on the nodes. So it's just about an exact, I think wasn't it exact last week? Pretty sure it was exact last week. So they're tracking, pretty close together for quite some time. So anyway, this nodal square will be in effect until December 7th. So that means that our souls are more tuned in. So the evolution, Pluto represents the evolution of our soul. In Capricorn, it has to do with learning that you can manifest, that it is work that needs to be attended to every day, just like everything else that matters to you, but that you can draw upon the wisdom of all of your past lives, and you can move forward in a brand new way with that Aries North Node to create whatever it is that you're wanting to bring through. And just remember, it's already created in the spirit world. Everything that you're supposed to bring forward as far as your gifts, it's already up there. It's already out there. It's already in all those spheres. Spheres, SPHERES, those spheres. Try saying that fast 5 times. Anyway, it's already there. This whole realm of your most precious, optimal experience of life is already there for you. It's already created in that dimension. In fact, I'd venture to guess that you created it before you came in, and you just came in to work through another little piece, or you decided you want to help other people. And because we can grow, well, definitely we can help other people here, but we can grow more quickly in this dualistic realm because it's right in our face. It's hard to get away from. So if you think along those lines, it could make things move more quickly for you during this time. And I mean, this is the power of the Pluto transits. It's supporting our evolving souls always. And it's really important to notice that Eris here is very, very close to the North Node. I mean, this is less than 3 degrees, 46 minutes, it's a little more than 3 degrees there. So anyway, that's a tight orb, and Eris is opposing that South Node. So Eris is here because it takes her like 558 years, I think, to get around the zodiac. And, here we are, still in Aries, but at those later degrees where it's really powerful. And what happens, and Eris will conjunct, or Eris is in this opposition to the South Node all the way through January of 2024. So we're less than 6 months with that. But the orb is getting tighter and tighter as we go because the nodes go backwards. So the nodes are trying to catch up. The nodes are guiding us, right? It's like our soul path. And then Pluto would be our soul power. So we're all in these nodes, they flip every 18, 19 years. So you could think back to what you were doing at that time, right? And how much stronger you are and how much you've grown. So if you can just think in terms of bringing down, onto Earth what is already there, what has already been created in the spiritual realms for you, then maybe that will make things easier. If you just remember that in the core of your being and in every cell of your body, those quantum fields of universal cosmic intelligence are vibrating and pushing out this effervescent energy. And so you already have, each one of us, we already have within us everything we're ever going to need to create, and creating what we need and most of what we want. And as long as we don't have a forcing current going out there, is like it has to be this way, or don't do it. If you can let go of any old script and say just, if it's more love, more joy, more happiness, more peace, whatever it is that you want, and you keep going towards what life is bringing to you that is of that same nature, and you're already in your wisdom and your power and your peace and your love, that would be love, you'll be in alignment with what I see Neptune relating to is those spiritual truths, the absolute truth. We have our personal truth, which I believe relates to Venus, but we have absolute truth. Our personal truth is what we've lived through and what we need to heal and how we can help others heal, how we can facilitate for them, just with our being with them and our mirroring. And then from the spiritual standpoint, it's all love and it's always been set up that way. We're just trying to get back into alignment with that all one energy current. So if you could think of this whole evolutionary journey of your soul as releasing what is already inherently within you, then it comes easier to, I think it's much easier to just be real and be yourself. Be very authentic. So let's see, what else with the backdrop? Eris being that feminine struggle for equality, that's what's on the table for the next, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're balancing out for at least the next year and a half. What else? Let's see. Venus here in this square to Uranus. Notice how Venus is going backwards retrograde, 27 degrees. Uranus is clocking forward, coming from 22 degrees. So Venus is going backwards in order to catch up with, she'll go all the way back to 12 degrees. So she's going backwards in order to catch up with some awareness, some enlightenment that Uranus is trying to bring to her. And this would be in the department of reevaluating, because remember, Venus is retrograde. All the retrogradations are about reevaluating something or redoing. Well, you have to reevaluate before you redo. So I just like to stick with reevaluating. And in Venus, it's our values as to how we spend our money, who we want to hang out with, who we relate to, who we are in close relationship with, and how we create more happiness in our lives, more peace and harmony. And eventually, how we can create more stability because of Uranus in very stable Taurus. So let's see. So this square began July 13th, and it's going to happen again in September when we also have these other planetary retrogrades. So let's see, what else? Jupiter in this trine to Mars here. Now Jupiter expands, right? So Jupiter at 13 degrees and Mars is at 12. It's almost exact. And so with Mars, how Virgo to me is so much about divine order, but it is about working through the details and working hard. We don't mind working hard. We want to get things right. And the only way we can mess this up is by needing to be perfectly perfect, or if we make a mistake and we can't forgive ourselves and just move on, right? I mean, if we've hurt someone else, all we ever have to do is say we're sorry if we are genuinely sorry, right? We first, if it's a mistake like that, like a relationship issue. But if it's something at work and you just, or something you're working on, you've either miscalculated or missed something, it's okay. Because with this trine here, there's this nice way to open up and expand and get out of any, because Taurus is, fixed earth. And then Mars is, we have mutable earth. So we're opening up something, we're adapting to something new. And it's much more resourceful and probably much more flexible, resourceful, and I would think brings in a lot more diversity, something that you wouldn't have thought of before, and it just opens up a whole new realm for you. So this will be happening all week. And then Mercury here, before I get into this grand water trine there, or grand water trine, what am I saying? Grand trine and its mixed energies. But Mercury here, see how we have this opposition to Saturn? Mercury's at 2 degrees. Saturn is retrograde moving back, so these, they're clocking together. Saturn's holding space for, like I said, to get a strong foothold in building your spiritual foundation. And maybe, you're volunteering if you can. Maybe you're supporting other people in their growth. Maybe volunteering on any level would be in the Pisces territory. But Pisces is also related, so is Taurus and Libra, related to all the arts. And, we're talking music, paint, draw, whatever medium it is, doesn't matter. It's definitely art. And it's something that you would devote yourself to because you just love it. Now, another issue, so it's it's basically your spirituality coming from your creative core. But on another level too, this is immigration. So here we are having these immigration problems. And, we have these monsters like Greg Abbott trying to pull his stunts, and he has, DOJ gave him a deadline, and he's dumb enough to tweet out to tweet out. So he's on Twitter tweeting, which I guess is now X, that's another whole ridiculous thing. Oh, God. I guess Elon Musk is marking his spot. But anyway, Greg Abbott tweeted to President. He said he tweeted, "See you in court, President Biden." Like, what the hell's that about? Biden's not running the DOJ. Like, what's wrong with this guy? So things like that, the details of what has happened is very revealing. And because Saturn rules our government, and we do have some of these crazies in there. I mean, I think he's some kind of a drug addict myself, and he's also part of a cult. Neptune and Pisces energy can be very cult-like, and he is part of this, old slave master, old white man, cult, and as well as Trump, and that whole thing is up for healing. So with Mercury, we can expect, with Mercury with this opposition to Saturn, we can expect we definitely expect more information, more people talking, more people saying silly things, and they are exposing who they really are. So, yeah. Now, for the rest of us, we could get some downloads, because Mercury is the messenger. We could receive some downloads full of details to help us on our spiritual paths, because oppositions are confrontations, but they're also a mirror point, and they can create breakthroughs. So we can have some spiritual breakthroughs that come in, and this opposition, it began last Thursday, and it becomes exact on this Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday, with our Aquarian full moon. But this opposition, it's going to last through to Sunday, August 6th, before it actually goes out of orb. So this is a really good time, really good week to get very, very clear. Okay, so, it's a good time for meditation and getting, like, literally sitting down and automatic writing in meditation, because Virgo's all about getting those details. Now, on another level, with this yod in here, you can see there's two of them, right? But let's look at this one here. I've spoken about it for quite some time. But this lasts through Thursday. It'll be done. That last leg will stay here, like I was saying, through December 11th. But this full pointed yod, pointing to Neptune, which has to do with, again, your spiritual path, your source energy, your creative, your ability to co-create, your creative soul power, your spiritual mojo, basically. It's all pointing to that. And again, one leg is connected to Venus in Leo. So again, it's your creative self-expression that can bring you into more harmony. And then with the connection to the South Node, brings through, here's the opportunity, is the wisdom of the past and relationships that with others that you care about, to help you there, to be with you on your path. So that's really nice. Now let's look at the moon. Well, no, actually, let's go with the moon, but I'll focus in on this yod between the sun and the moon. So the moon coming in at 6 a.m. this morning, July 30th, is in Capricorn, and we have the quincunx in conjunct aspect pointing down to the sun. So the sun is at the point. The moon, we have an opportunity to Saturn in Pisces. So think of the moon in Capricorn. So the moon is the public. The moon is our moods. The moon is how we, connect with something, maybe how we're digesting our food. It has to do with our intuition and basically how we respond to life and what we need. So this might be one of those days where we feel like, even though it's Sunday, we might feel like we need to work, we need to get organized, and we need to make plans. So, and it can also have to do with our eating habits. And Capricorn, it's like a cooler aspect of Earth, so we might not be wanting to eat a lot of hot foods, things like that. But pointing to the sun in Leo, there we have that fiery energy. And, I love Leo for courage, for our creative self-expression, for having fun and playing. It's kid energy that I just absolutely love. But Leo energy, the sun, will always put a spotlight on something. It'll help us focus on something. And because it's at the point, we could be finding new creative ways to manifest and to manifest spiritually. You might get some downloads. This is another aspect pointing to the possibility of some downloads to help you. So meditation, playful meditation even, going out for a walk or playing out in the yard if you can, things like that, especially if you have any kids around you. If you don't and you can't get out, watch some funny videos with babies, especially babies giggling, little kids doing funny things. That might be helpful. It might spark something inside of you to help you in any way. So let's see, what else? Let's talk about the trine we have going on here. So the moon is trining the north node. So there's something coming through intuitively to help you not only on your path, but to blaze a new trail coming from your ability to manifest, and then also with the information and details and the chutzpah, I don't know if that's the right word, of Mars that is, it's activating and motivating, and it helps you be more enthusiastic to get inside the details with Virgo. Now, this could be really useful for getting on a diet that's perfect for you. And I don't mean diet like to lose weight. I just mean like how you eat. It can help you bring something into order, where something that keep you out of the realms of, especially with Capricorn to Virgo, we're in the earthly manifesting realm, coming from the details of all things related to our health and creating more stability in our lives. And then you can see the other point of the so that we do have one trine coming off the moon to the north node, but then there's this other trine from the moon to Jupiter, and then Jupiter in Taurus, no less, and then Jupiter over to Mars. So what we have to do is bring all the energies together of Mars, the moon, and Jupiter. Or you could say Jupiter, Mars, and the moon going in order of earthly. So Jupiter's the stronger planet within this configuration. So let's think about Jupiter helping us to explore what we want to invest our time in. It's our way of focusing on what we really believe in. It helps us to open up to something new. Now, to the moon, we have to be careful with overeating, because Jupiter in Taurus is very tuned into pleasure. So we have to find the mix of positive pleasure that doesn't overwhelm our bodies. Okay? I think the Capricorn moon can help with that quite a bit. So I really do feel like this is perfect for a new health routine. Or let's say you've got that down. Maybe this is a good time for cleaning out closets or the garage. Maybe it's a little too hot for the garage. Maybe it's closets and drawers and things like that. Or rearranging things so that there's more efficiency in your home. That would bring in both Virgo and the moon energy. Capricorn wants things simple and efficient, and Virgo can help us get there. It's great. Let's see. I think that's about it, actually. Let's go ahead and move forward then for the rest of the week, and it'll go much more quickly. Okay, so Monday, remember we still have the yod going on through Thursday, but But today, notice how the moon is, and I clocked it at noon to get it, within close enough orb. The moon is conjunct Pluto. So now there's that definite, well, there could be something that comes out in the public, right? Because with that square to the nodes, it's been there. And now the moon is also sextile Neptune. So the moon is our moods. It's the public, what's going on out in the public. It's mostly, I'm thinking that we're feeling like really being authentic with ourselves and or sharing our authentic selves with others, being in our authority. And it's powerful. Either one of these are very, very powerful alone, but you join together the moon and Pluto. Now, Pluto can bring up subconscious things that need to clear. It's like things that bubble up and you go, oh, I didn't know that was there. The moon can, because the moon's an illuminary, can bring in something to help you connect the dots, bring something to your attention that needs to be known so that you can heal. On another level, something could come out into the public sphere Monday, before noon, or 3 p.m., noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and adjust for your time zone in between. Something could come out in the news about, something politically. There's that very real possibility. Now, also, we have the moon. So it's not just Pluto scoring the nodes, it's the moon and Pluto. And the moon is also in conjunct Venus. And moving towards, because we have that in conjunct to Venus up to Pluto, right? That quincunx 150-degree aspect. There's an adjustment that needs to be made to be more powerful, coming from your true values. And with that, it's very possible that something comes out in the public. And you can see the moon's at 24, and as it moves, every degree forward to Pluto, it's going to get tighter and tighter. So this is pretty much an all-afternoon thing going on. And I don't know, what it could be, but I think it's something that will be revealed. Maybe it'll be another indictment, because we've got the public. And then we have the abuses of power that have been happening for so long, and indictments. So we're on literally indictment watch. Let's see what else. This trine over here, Mercury. Well, I'll get into that in the further days, I guess, because this is lasting. Mercury at 3 degrees here, Virgo, is in this nice, actually Mercury and Mars, we've got this nice trine over here to this stellium in Aries. So I'll go ahead and move forward. Well, wait, Jupiter, hold on. Let's talk about this, because this is exact. Look at that. 13 degrees here. And as Mars moves forward more quickly than Jupiter, of course, it will become exact. And this is, so Jupiter trine Mars is, again, what I was talking about before, about being able to open up, to create more order in your life, to create more bliss, to create more safety. There's a nice easy flow of balancing the details with all the things that you love about Taurus, which is, of course, what makes you feel secure. It also rules the skin and all, forms of sensuality, tactile things like that. It's also what we're faithful to. It's our principles, basically. And most of all, our self-preservation. And I like that Jupiter's there, because it kind of helps us, keep from getting stuck, because, Taurus can get stuck sometimes. So with Mars and Virgo moving, the only way to get stuck with this energy would be to say something like, well, the hell with my health, I'll just eat and do whatever I want. You know, if you're working out that, I could understand. I mean, we all go through those periods, and then we pay for it and go, oh yeah, no, I can't eat that. No, that doesn't work. And we live and learn. Oh, I know what needs to be looked at before I move forward. The sun squaring Jupiter in Leo. Yeah, the sun, and as the sun moves forward every degree, this will be lasting a few days. This has the effect of shining a light on what you want to create and maybe how much money you can make creating it, whatever it is, and that would be especially true with Uranus in this square over to Venus, because Venus in Leo is really wanting, there's greater self-love and greater value to your self-worth with Venus in Leo. That's very helpful. And with Uranus, you're waking up to the fact that, I can't spend all this energy and not make money for it. So you're going to be making things more simple, I would think. We might also be seeing where, people in governmental positions are just wasting time and money with their baloney. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about there. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go forward. I hope you understand that where I have highlighted very brightly, these are very strong aspects because we've got the oomph of the moon connected to Pluto and sextiling Neptune there. This is a very, very triggering, powerful aspect to help you get on your spiritual path there. Yeah, might be some very bright aha moments going on. Okay, so let's go ahead. So now we have the full moon in Aquarius, and it comes in, so this is August 1st, Tuesday. It comes in at 11:31 p.m. Pacific, and the moon's at 9 degrees, so the full moon's at 9 degrees Aquarius. So anywhere in your chart that you have, let's say, 6 to 12 degrees Aquarius, this full moon could activate something for you that could help release some creative power within, or release a person from your life that shouldn't be there anymore, or bring in a person that should be there. Or if you have your ascendant, midheaven, descendant, IC down here at between 6 degrees and, well, you can even go, actually, when it comes to a new moon or a full moon, you can go all the way to 5 degrees. So anywhere between 4 degrees Aquarius to 13 degrees Aquarius. If you have any hot points or planets at that degree, you could have something very nice come through. Some new friends, new hopes and dreams and wishes and goals, and thinking outside the box, and especially when it comes to like groups where new original ideas are very, very welcomed, and it's good. Well, Aquarius rides that edge between tolerance to all people and honoring everyone's humanity to the opposite, where there's bigotry and that I'm better than you and intellectual pride and all of that. So, if you have any feelings come up around not being treated fairly, I would certainly understand. Or if you have feelings of, if you have awarenesses of where you've been pigeonholed in the past, and somebody's racist or they're judging you harshly, just know that if anyone's judging you, that is never your fault. If someone's judging you harshly, I mean, those things are between you and your creator. And, law enforcement, if you're on that vein. So, yeah. Okay, but notice that the full moon here is part of this T-square to Jupiter, okay? So Jupiter's, ruling this configuration on the full moon. So, because it's at that, focal point, and it's the slower moving planet. So again, everything I said before about Jupiter in Taurus. So just remember, Jupiter opening up, Jupiter can be excessive. In Taurus, with the square to the moon, there could be some, some of those issues I was talking about before about it's either being treated humanely or not. And if somebody's acting like they're better than you, well, you know that that's not true. So you just have to remind yourself of that and walk away. And with that square to the sun, with a Jupiter at the square to the sun, the only thing I could say is, well, one of the things I could say would be that if someone is coming in with any narcissistic, higher than thou baloney, I wouldn't be surprised. And I say that because of the polarity, and that, anytime we have a full moon, it's always opposite of the sun. And so we're kind of there's a spotlight coming from possibly emotional reaction. Because I look at the moon as being like our ego filter, and so the healthier our ego is, the better we're going to do. And if you get a spotlight of like some narcissistic person coming at you, you'll be like, oh, you'll just notice that they're narcissistic, and you can maybe send them some love and turn around and go the other way. You don't ever want to go head on with a narcissist. You'll never win. You want to get away from them. And their life lesson is to learn that they wind up alone when they don't play nice. So if you run into a bully, of course, go the other way. Unless you want to get in a fight for some reason or another and work out something, I'd advise a different direction. But, you do you. So with Uranus trining Pluto, again, that's part of that big mix in there to help you find new ways of creating more money, more joy, more safety, and manifest. It's all about manifesting with Pluto and Capricorn up there. So let's see, with everything else, the full moon, it is the backdrop for the entire week that I've already spoken to. But this full moon will bring something to a head where there's that need to make a choice as to which way you go in order to find more bliss, more happiness, more security, and, with your set of principles, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh, wait, did we talk about Jupiter? Oh, no. Notice Jupiter's at 45 degrees. 13 minutes, 45 degrees. 13 degrees, 45 minutes. Third time's a charm. Trine Mars, 13 degrees, 42 minutes. So we have an exact trine here between Mars and Jupiter. I have a little note here. This happens at 1:31 p.m. So the trine that's been in effect, that we've been looking at here, this is exact today. And again, more energy and initiative to get to the details of what needs to happen in order to create all that abundance and bliss that you want in your life. Something comes through for you with this full moon. I love it. Maybe it's it might come through in dream time Monday night, Tuesday morning, you know what I mean? That's very, very possible, especially with the full moon. And if you're energized, I get that during full moons. Not usually the new moons, but the full moons. Well, yeah, it's usually just the full moons. You can be more energized. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, you'll be less hungry the days approaching a full moon, usually. So it's a good time for balancing out that way if you want. But if you get more energized during a full moon, I would understand, especially with when the moon's in Aquarius. I would say make sure you're very well hydrated, because imagine you're kind of full. because the tides are higher with the full moon, so our body water levels are higher. So we're going to need to be careful about either drinking too much or not drinking enough water, getting dehydrated. That could happen. And especially with Jupiter and Taurus, we all have to be more careful about overeating, because there's so many yummy foods out there nowadays, right? All these inventions. Okay, so then Wednesday, August 2nd, 8:30 in the morning, we have Uranus in a T-square to the moon in Aquarius, and then over here to Venus. So now Uranus is at this focal point, and it's the more powerful planet. Uranus square Venus can help us to express ourselves in new ways in relationships where we feel safe, as long as you feel safe. But with the opposition between Venus and the moon, you're going to find out, I think, who those people are. And you might have someone new come in to your life that is very out-of-the-box thinking, very creative, and very open. There's that possibility. Or, with an opposition, it could literally be the opposite of that. But with Uranus, whatever it is, there will be an awareness of whatever it is, okay? And then you can see we have this aspect of the architect going on between the moon and Eris and the North Node. So there's the feminine courage that opens us up in a new way, and then we're going back to the past, going, have we ever been treated like equal citizens? No. And we have this mystic triangle going on here, coming from Venus, which rules the feminine, and then this trine over to this Aries stellium. I think something wants to get done and might just be accomplished on Wednesday. So I'm hoping for that. Mars is trining, 14 to Jupiter. Yeah, so look at the exact. That's still in effect there. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. For Thursday, we have the moon conjunct Saturn. This is our last day. I highlighted the yod because this is the last day that we have this yod. So, all this week where we've had the opportunity to get on our spiritual path, bring forth our past life wisdom, and go towards what we love and our creative self-expression that will save us, keep us out of depression, keep us out of, because depression can very much be related to repression, repressing our feelings, and soul repression from, lifetimes. So, yeah, that's especially the case with Chiron retrograde. That began July 23rd, and it goes through December 26th this year, so day after Christmas. And it's in aspect here in the semi-square to the moon conjunct Saturn. So there's some serious spiritual business we're getting down to. If you have any depression come up, just don't feel hopeless. Know that you're building on your hope until you create faith. And your faith comes through experience of trusting your guides. So all I can ever say to anyone is to always do as much as you can to connect with your guides, hang out with your guides, invite them in constantly. They need to be invited in order to support you on your path. They're meant to protect you, but they're not meant to interfere, but you have to ask for support. Now, the little negative boogers, they just come around all the time. That's the nature of who they are. But I like to assign a set of guides to keep them away. And when they get in, I realize, oh, wait, got to work with those guides a little bit more, So any little negative talk, negative self-talk, negativity at others, that's, more than naming the atrocities that are going on right now. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. You can see what I post in my community section to know that. I have my snarky side. So, but anyway, Thursday, this is this last day to have this aspect here. So if we focus on our spiritual path and also to allow ourselves, so this is 4:30 in the morning that we have the moon exactly conjunct Saturn. It's possible that we'll have a dream that helps us clear something karmically. A lot of times, dream time is releasing. A lot of times, dream time is clearing out either negative things we've seen on TV, negative things that we've heard, negative things that we've experienced in past lives and in this lifetime. So unless it's a reoccurring, the same dream over and over, those dreams are to help us get, clear with something, work it through and process it through. But if it's you just wake up, it's like, whoa, that was a weird dream. What the heck was that? You most likely were clearing something that you watched on TV. We have to be careful, especially don't ever, ever, ever fall asleep with the TV on. Because if you do that, you're taking in all those ridiculous commercials. We know about cancer, about all these different diseases or diseases, as Louise Hay would call it. That's not you, right? And anytime anybody's going through a serious issue, a health issue, it's not who you really are. It's something that's happening to your body because you're needing to get more in touch with your body and help to heal your soul, because your body and your soul are the same thing. It's all one. So if you're listening to how many times have you heard these ridiculous, it's big pharma trying to push something on you, and it's saying my metastatic breast cancer or my whatever, my COPD or my whatever. It's like, do not ever say it's yours, because that's owning it and bringing it in and taking ownership of something. Jupiter in Taurus is right here, and Uranus in Taurus is trying to say, don't ever own it. It's just something you go through, a person goes through on their healing journey. It's not who they really are. So those types of commercials drive me nuts. So if you fall asleep with the TV on, you're asking for it, right? Because you're taking all that in. And then you're going to have to process it through and clear it out later on. And that's what dream time can, that can happen. Yeah, because you don't want to bring anything disharmonious into dream time. Now, other good things you can do with dream time is to thank your guides, guardian angels, God, whoever you use, Christ, whomever, whatever entities you like that really resonate with you. You can ask for healing. You can thank them for healing your body while you sleep. You can thank them for guiding you on your spiritual path through dream time so that you can wake up more consciously aware of the direction for you. And we each have our own unique path, and no one can ever tell you you're supposed to go this way. They can just kind of guide you in with astrology. I look at the different areas that it might relate to. But to say exactly what it is, that's something that comes from you. Right? And then we as facilitators are just witnesses. And that's basically the process. So, okay, I think that's good for Thursday. I think I've covered everything there. Let's go to Friday. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, well, I did say it. I just said it in the weird way, or my weird way. Chiron here with a trine over to Venus, and then this stellium of Aries in the trine over to Venus. This is exactly what I was talking about with, healing and being very careful about what you take into your essence, and especially during dream time, you don't want to take that in and go in the wrong direction. Okay, so let's see. Friday, 6:30 in the morning. The moon's here, conjunct Neptune. So again, between Thursday, Friday, we have tremendous, actually all week, I think all the time, we have tremendous possibility when it comes to really getting somewhere spiritually. Through dream time and meditation. The moon in Pisces, and especially after the hookup with Saturn and then now hooking up with Neptune, again, these are like spiritually based foundations. And anything that leads you to more bliss and makes you feel more complete and whole within is good. Now, the moon is also opposing Mars, so there's more energy to, follow you, trust your guidance, and with detail bring through. And that was happening. You can see 6:30 in the morning here. I did that just to get us within that 6-degree orb of Neptune. So this is, probably all the way up through noon. It can be very, very good for meditation. If you have the day off, this will be a good morning for all of that. But you can see with if the moon were at 15 degrees here, we would have an exact opposition to Mars. So that was happening early this morning too. And it might be that you get some guidance during dream time and you wake up in the morning and you know exactly, especially with Mercury and Mars together here, you could have some details as to what has been off in your diet or off in your health routine or off in just the daily details of your life or off with any work project, and it can help you get back on track because that moon opposition there can shed some light on whatever details that were needed. And then with this stellium again in Aries, connecting over to Venus, this is really, really good for your creative self-expression, making more money, owning your values, reevaluating, all those things that you're wanting. And then because of that reevaluation with Venus retrograde, of course, you've got this courage and this new awareness of which direction to go. It's very movement-oriented. Lots of fire there. And then later on tonight, I have a little note down here that later on tonight, 8:20 p.m., the moon will move into Aries. So I would say if you can, get to bed early. I don't know how early, but it depends on what time you get up. But you might want to be careful about staying up too late because with the moon in Aries, you might be a little more energized. Depends on where, what houses it'll go through for you in your chart. Okay, Saturday, 5 a.m., I highlighted this in just to make sure I didn't forget to talk about it, but I already told you so much about that Neptune quincunx the South Node in conjunct quincunx, which lasts through, December 11th, I think. Yeah. So we're working that, that hook up with the past to stay on your spiritual path, have more inspiration on your spiritual path, dissolving the boundaries around, the limitations of your spiritual path, and going back to your past life wisdom. Now you can see the moon is at 5 degrees. By 5 a.m. it's at 5 degrees Aries. And we have a trine down to, so we have the moon trining the sun. So there's a nice, as the moon is approaching, going further and further by degree. So it's an approaching trine, and within the next few hours, it'll be an exact trine. So there's a nice flow of the Aries and Libra energy. So that's great for courage on your path. It's great for initiating something new that helps you feel more alive and is much more creative, honors your creative self-expression. It's a great time to be seen and heard and understood by those that you love, and just to hang out with those people in just a very natural way. Let's see. Jupiter has, so that was the moon to the sun. Jupiter with the trine over to Venus and Mars together is very powerful as well. And again, two of the earthly, you know, if Pluto up here holding space in Capricorn on our life path, or between the nodes, and then we have Jupiter holding space over here in Taurus, and both Mercury and Mars holding space in earthly Virgo. So we have tons of earth energy. It's a nice balance. We really do have, you know, enough. Well, we don't have tons of air, but we had the moon in Aquarius go through. We have the south node in Libra, so there's our air. But yeah, I like having Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And all this earth energy is very, very good for helping us to build something solid. It's, you know, steady, reliable type of energy. And, you know, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius as well are all very, you know, steady and stable. And, I mean, you know, it's hard for a person with a lot of Leo to not do what they say. And you know, unless you're Trump, there's that. Unless you're a malignant narcissist or born psychopath, and then it's a completely different. You know, things can always flip the wrong way if you're not if you're not working in the light. So let's see. Anything else? Yeah, it just looks to me like, even though it's the weekend, honestly, the whole week to me looks like it can be a week of a lot of work and attending to details. But the, you know, the issue with, it's always, you know, do you work? Depends. I mean, are you, I don't know what type of schedules you guys have. If you're retired, you can do things at your own pace usually. If you have a job, I would say this might be one of those weeks where you're working harder, and then you might come home, or you're off of work if you work from home, but your time, your sacred spiritual time is sacred and it's needed. It can be that, like balancing out that way. Another thing I'm noticing before I close up here is that Venus, so notice Venus is at 25 degrees, 5 minutes, and Eris is over here at 25 degrees, 14 minutes. So I missed that exact. It was probably, would have been maybe yesterday, because Venus, 32. No, it's getting more exact now. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, translating Venus trine Eris, that is more feminine courage to do what is your creative thing, and do what is do those things that make you the happiest. It's again with Venus retrograde in Leo. Leo is about our creative self-expression and is tied to our children and our grandchildren, but it's also in retrograde. Bringing that aspect through is about reevaluating what matters to us most. And with the trine to Eris, we will have more courage than ever to make sure that that's what we're doing, because it'll cause us problems if we're not in our creative flow. We won't like the way it feels. We'll feel like we're wasting our power, wasting our energy. And you know how that is. I'm sure you've been through that, where you do something and then you're like, dang, I feel so drained. Or maybe you catch yourself in the middle of it and go, oh, yeah, this is not what I'm supposed to do. Right? So if you're in a job like that, I advise you to get out of it, or find something that is the right thing for you. And even if you have to take a pay cut, go for the thing that's right for you, because it will create more health in your body, and it will bring you into alignment with things that eventually do pay as much or maybe more, right? Yeah. So, okay. So the transits look to me for this week in summary as everything leading to more happiness, because you're more and more in your on your spiritual path and in your authentic essence, and there's more and more work going into that, which is a good kind of work. Was it John Lewis that said, "Good, get into some good trouble"? Yeah, we can do that. Okay, well, that's it, you guys. Thanks so much. Take good care this week. Bye.